So now that we understand all of that, let's talk about the different types of trading, because with the information that I have shown you, you can trade many different types of ways. And I'm not talking about technical ways or stuff with the charts. I'm talking about actual trading concepts. There's many of them, and these are the most known ones. The first one is going to be price action trading, which is going to be the charts that I have just shown you guys. It's these candlesticks that go up, that are blue and red, and the candlesticks that go down, or the line chart that goes up and down. The ones that we just explaining just a couple of minutes ago, that pretty much represents the feed price of that currency pair happening inside of the markets. This is going to be price action. This is how you can physically see where price is on real time in front of the chart, and everything that happens in the history, meaning the candlesticks that are left in the past or the lines that are left in the past. This is pretty much like the trail of where this price is headed. This is the battle in between both currency pairs, and they're leaving a trail behind when they're going up and when they're going down. And those trails you can use them to your advantage because there's patterns behind those trails. And this is the most known common way of trading, simply because it's the easiest way to spot patterns, because you can literally see them. You're seeing it happen again and again and again. And you're looking at these patterns through the way of price action. Price action, technical analysis, charts, it's all the same thing. You're looking at the chart, which represents price that the market is showing you in a form of a candlestick. Next is going to be market sentiment. So this is a type that I learned very early on, and I had extreme failure like this because it's kind of a crazy trading concept, and it simply consists of you trading against the majority. That's pretty much it. And there's websites out there that can tell you where 99% of the retail traders are. And since 99% of the retail traders fail, you simply do the opposite of what they do. So if 99% of the retail traders are buying, you will simply sell. That's it. That's what market sentiment trading is. It's honestly a very high risk way of trading, and there's a lot of speculation because none of these platforms really know how many traders are in one direction versus the other. It's great assumption and it doesn't work. Obviously they get their price data and live feed from brokers and from other platforms, but how reliable can that really be? I tried it and I've heard stories and I've never met anybody that is successful with it. But pretty much what you're doing is you're trading against the retail traders, but you're not having an actual price that you are looking at. You're not looking at the candlesticks. You're not looking at the charts. You're not looking at technical. You're not looking at any of this stuff. You're just basing it off of one platform that tells you, hey, 99% of the traders will be buying tomorrow at 9 a.m. You should sell. But how do you know where to place your take profit? How do you know where to place your stop loss? How do you know if the entry is right? How do you know if you even have an entry signal? There's so much stuff that gets factored into this that simply makes absolutely no sense. And you're pretty much just trading off of an assumption of a platform, which to me had no sense. And I see no reliability and accountability for you to become successful using this source. Next is going to be fundamental analysis. So this is pretty much what we just explained just a little bit ago on Forex Factory. And this is going to be where you simply trade using the news. So some people out here, they love reading hundreds of pages every single morning, or they love being on top of what politicians are doing, and they study them and their moves and their team's campaign, and based off of what they've done in the past, they can pretty much assume what they're going to say in their next speech or what the next political news is going to come out. And they use that as a trading strategy to pretty much create an edge over the market, where they believe that they can know what these politicians and what these big news are going to pretty much post. But it kind of takes as well as a lot of assumption, and it's a lot of assumption based off of articles that you have to read that you don't know if some of these articles are reliable. You guys know that the media kind of makes a lot of stuff up all the time, and they give their own twist to the story. And I personally didn't want to have any reliability on social media that they can just spiral up the news to make it a little bit more spicy and they could get more attention, and me base a money decision based off of that. Or you simply have to read 5-6 different news articles to pretty much come with one overall decision, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. You're pretty much just basing everything off of reading. And instead of you reading actual letters, why shouldn't you actually be reading actual charts, which is what the market does? By you reading fundamentals and you reading the news, you're not seeing patterns, you're not seeing anything. You're just pretty much reading what the people think is going to happen. And then you making a business trading decision based off of that. And that's what the fundamentals pretty much consist of just you reading news and base a trading decision off of that. So instead of you relying on the charts, on the candlesticks, you're pretty much relying on the news, on politicians, on social media platforms, places that direct what the news of that currency is going to be, whether you believe it's going to be good or whether you believe it's going to be bad. But same exact thing. How do you know when's the entry signal? How do you base your stop loss off that? How do you base your take profit? You can't really base it off of something like, let's say you even know for a fact that some politician is going to come out and the news article is going to mean that the dollar is going to get strong. Let's say you know that for a fact. You have inside information. Well, what do you do with that information? How do you know where your take profit is going to be if you're not physically looking at a chart? And that's why the fundamental traders usually have a big struggle becoming profitable, because they also have to implement technical analysis for it to make some type of sense. So these are going to be the 3 different types of market approaches that you can decide to trade the market in. And for the remainder of this video, we're going to simply and solely only focus on price action trading, because it's what I have been using to become successful. And it's what 99% of the traders at the end of the day have to come back and trade, because you need to know where you're going to place your entry point, your stop loss, your take profit, so on and so forth. And don't worry, I'm going to get into a lot more detail on what these terminologies are. I just need you to know exactly what we're going to be learning so you can learn these terminologies with the type of trading that we will be doing.